Hey guys, settling day. Hopefully you guys are still hanging in there with me. I know it's been a while since I made a video and I apologize for that. But as you can see, I'm settling the birds today. I took a different approach this year. I put down a bath pan out for them just to try to call them out of the aviary. This is the first time they're out. I put an 8-foot board. I know it's kind of a kittywampus setup here, but it seems to work okay for right now. So hopefully my goal is to get them wet enough that they're not too strong to fly off if something does scare them. At best, my goal for today is just to let them out, let them get a 360-degree view of their surroundings, avoid hawks at all costs, and if I can get them to call back in. I have not fed them today, so they are hungry, so that I'm hoping that when I start calling them in for food, they all come in case I have to take off or something like that. I don't want to leave any birds out. But so far so good. Like I said, most are coming in for a bath. Some are still a bit timid, but my goal is to get them nice and wet. That way, if something does happen, they can't just take off and get airborne and then potentially lose them. They've been out in this section here for a couple weeks now. The top of my aviaries are wire, so I mean they get a pretty good view of their surroundings, but they don't necessarily get a 360-degree view. And I know that's pretty important. I know they've never touched rooftops, if they've never touched a tree branch or anything like that. So if they go airborne, they're afraid to land on anything, and they could just keep on flying until basically they get lost. Luckily for me, but also a fault in my yard, I should say, is that I have wires right above, which make it nice because the birds usually go up there first, and then they kind of come down, and then they go back up and kind of come down. But in the same token, when they are flying well, I'm afraid that they're going to hit that wire. I have not had any issues yet in the past few years, but I'm sure I'm going to have one dummy that's going to smoke that wire and just hurt himself. So good and bad, good and bad. This, or I should say last year, I did remove the majority of the low-hanging branches off that tree. I remember a couple of videos back I was kind of complaining about them going up and down, but I removed most of those branches that were leaning onto my side. I called the company out, I removed that, and I removed the big pine tree that was in that corner. I don't know if you guys remember. So now it's very open. I am gonna trim down this peach tree quite aggressively this year. That doesn't bother me at all because the opening is obviously that way. So I get my birds in from the southwest, and they usually come in from that way unless they overfly. But so far so good. We'll see how she goes. Keep me in your prayers that everything goes well and I don't get any hawk attacks and I don't lose any. If everything goes good, I'm gonna leave them out for about, let's say, 2 hours. As long as obviously they're still entertaining the idea of coming out. If they're gonna just sit in the aviary, then I'm just gonna let them sit in the aviary, and I'll try this again tomorrow. So I got the weekend off, I got time to hang. So well, guys, so far so good. The water trick definitely worked. It kept them stationary for a little while. I've been out here 40-45 minutes or so, and I have roughly 8 or 9 birds out on the aviary. The majority is still in. I did have one go airborne, got a bit spooked, I don't know about what, and eventually landed right on the grass over there or in the snow. And I'm not going to chase him in, I'm just going to give him time. He obviously sees the aviary, he sees the other birds, so I don't see there being an issue. In the same token, as they're doing okay. Like I said, the water worked. The birds are starting to explore. Nobody's really scared. I did release the chickens. They're my guard dogs, so to speak. They are my alarm system. They'll notice something before I notice it. Hopefully that gives me enough time to maybe avoid anything that could potentially go wrong, a hawk attack or something in that nature. So I do have my whistle. It's worked in the past where a hawk comes by, I'll whistle loudly, and that sharp pitch noise kind of keeps them away, but that's only happened once or twice. So wish me luck. Like I said, so far it's going okay. I'm still a bit on edge. You may notice in my voice my stress level is a little bit high. You want to say that you're, yeah, whatever, the dummies get lost, they get lost, but when you're out here and your birds are out, you forget about that bold comment you made previously. Now you're just super freaked out that the birds make it back. So hang in there with me, and we'll see how she goes. I'll let you guys know if, oh, there he is, he's coming in. All right, yeah, perfect. Yeah, like I said, I do like the wires for that reason, but I hate them in the same token because when they start getting up there, start to pick up some speed, they could smoke those wires, and that might not be a good thing. But for the most part, it's something for them to land. Well, guys, we were unable to avoid a hawk attack. I guess it's the inevitable this time of year. The damn thing came right over me. I mean, not more than 5 feet over me. Grabbed one of my little red checks. Thankfully, the bird got away. no harm. I did lose 4 in the mix. They kind of just went everywhere. Some went right back in the coop, others went airborne. And so in the past hour, I've been just out here kind of waiting. I had a dropper ready just in case I did see one in the air, but luckily enough, they all came back in. I got 26 in this section. I just counted, there's 26 left, and I told myself I wouldn't count the birds this year to see what I lose, what I don't lose, but man, I just can't help it, man. You know how it is. They're your birds, and when you let them out, you fear for them. And again, I think that's the fancier in me. I'm not at that stage yet where I super comfortable losing birds. But in the same token, I guess what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And the birds that did go airborne, get lost for about an hour or so, they made it back. And for their first flight out, being spooked, worried about a hawk, you know, they still made it back. So I guess there's a silver lining to everything. And I know that's easier, or I should say that's easily said now that they're home and they did not get lost, or they did not get, you know, taken by the hawk. It's easy to say that, but it is what it is, guys. I mean, like I said, they made it home. Tomorrow I'm gonna try again. Once I feel like they're settled, they'll be able to open loft them for a little bit. And also this week I'll be moving in my second round of youngsters. Not in here. I'm gonna set up the center section again. I'm gonna clean all that out, get it ready. I got a group of youngsters I'm gonna be moving in. And then we'll see. I'm not sure if I'm going to be going in on my third round. I am getting some birds from out of state for the big races, and I think that's going to put me exactly where I want to be with number of birds. If I do end up breeding a third round, I may either A, be very selective on which ones I want youngsters from, or B, breed 1 egg out of each box. So 1 egg per bull. That way I only have 15 more birds instead of 30 more birds to add, and I still get 1 more youngster from every pair. So not sure exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go over it tonight, and we'll go from there. But I guess it was overall a win. It was a good day. Even though we did get a hawk attack, it was a good day. I didn't lose anybody, so that's awesome. Well, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'll probably make one when I win the second round for you. You know, it is what it is, and we'll go from there. All right, guys.